Hello and welcome to the GarageBand tutorial. This is where I'm going to be teaching you how to make a fairly simple song if you're completely new. So when you open up GarageBand, you're going to click Empty Project and then click Choose down here. And this is going to bring up this screen. So this is your workspace over here, and whenever you create a new track and when you start out you have to have a single track, it doesn't really matter what. It's asking you what track you want to use. So we have software instrument, audio, and you can either plug in like a mic or a bass or a guitar, like an electric one or acoustic electric, and then a drummer. And first of all, I'm going to start off with software instrument and going to click Create. So this creates a track for you that you can use to play music. And I'm using my keyboard right down here to play the music. So A, if you press A on your keyboard, it plays a C. So you can do all your stuff on this. When making a song, this is your record, this is your play, this is your stop. So let's just play something on the piano. Let's start off with a riff. So it'll be in the key of C. So I'll play. I guess that'll be my song for now. So what you do is you press record, and if you want to change the tempo, you can do it here by clicking and dragging. If you want to change the key, you can do it by clicking and dragging as well. And if you want to turn on or off the metronome, the count in, and cycle. So I press this button and it will click 4 times, and then that will be the start of my new song. So 3, 4. So that's my song that we're going to start out with. To get your musical typing up and back, you press Command and then K at the same time. And then that will bring it up. Otherwise, you can go into Window and show musical typing. So now I have this song. If I press Return, it will bring it to the start. And if I press Spacebar, it will play my song. So there we go. That's the beginning of a song. If you click this up here, you can create a cycle, and this will make it repeat over and over again, and this is really helpful for when you're making songs. So just click and drag, then you can grab this and you can move it, you can make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever you want to do. So this is what I have. I'm going to change it because if you click the metronome and listen, it's not quite on beat. So that's pretty off. So what I'm doing is double click that, and this brings up here. And this is a different way of viewing the notes. This is called MIDI, as opposed to an audio waveform. This has no actual sound. What happens is these notes are then taken through this instrument and then they're outputted as sound. And because it's not actual sound, you can change it to anything you want. If I want to go over here and change the instrument, I'll do synth layers and then lush arpeggiated layers. Press space. So that sounds very significantly different, but it's getting the same input from here. So let's go back to classic electric piano. Now you can change it. What's cool about MIDI is that I recorded me playing, but I can change it however I want. For instance, I could make it, you can like click and drag and grab all of them, and I could make it higher. And that's pretty cool. If you Command Z, that brings it back to where it was. Or just backsteps whatever you did. So what I want to do is I want to make this to beat. So I click and I drag across the keyboard, and that will grab all of these notes, and I can time quantize to 16 notes, or 16th notes. Now what this does is that makes it so that the notes go to the closest 16th note that there is. So now it sounds like this. So it still needs some work. So what I'm gonna do is just go in here and bring it to where I want the notes. So that's what I want for my keyboard. A good thing to get in the habit of is saving, Command S. And since it's the first time I'm saving it, this will be called tutorial song. And I'll press save. And now whenever I press Command S again, it will just save it automatically to where that is. So now that we have a piano, let's add a new track. Let's add a drummer. So you click new track up here, and you click drummer and create. Now this is going to create a drum track for you, and there's all these different ones that you can use. So I'm going to use this one to start out with, and let's listen. So that's pretty cool, but maybe I don't want it like that. If you double click on this, you can change how loud it is, how soft, and how complex and how simple. I'd like it soft and complex, and I'll have claps, I'll have a tambourine in it. I'll add a ton of fills. I'll swing it just for fun. And toms and cymbals. I like hi-hats. So yeah, and now let's listen. Alright, so that sounds pretty cool. Maybe I won't swing it so it's easier to listen to. Now that I have my drums and I have my piano, I'm going to create a synthesizer pad. So this will give me some kind of, remember Command K again. Add that cool effect to it. So let's just record, see what we get. Okay, so I don't really like how that turned out, so I'm going to change what I played as chords. I want this to be C. So I can click and I drag it down to C. I drag this down to E. Or maybe I'll drag it to G if I can click on it. And then this to E. So let's hear how that. Yep, I like how that finishes now. So that's much better because it sounds like it has some kind of resolution. I'll just time quantize this to make everything close to one notes and see how that shifted. And drag this back in the beginning. Alright, so So that's pretty cool. And then finally I'll add a voice. So you can click microphone, and now what this is gonna do, if you see right here, this is taking the input from my voice right now. So if I silence everything else and I record what I want my voice to say, let's remember. So take that and I can edit it. I can time quantize this just like you would other things, and that will put the beats where I want, or wherever you want. You can change. Let's remember. So that's really horribly off tune. So I'm going to limit to key and pitch correct this. Let's remember. So now you've got this like auto-tune crazy thing, and you can change this how you want. Let's remember. Sure. Whatever you want to do with that. So now we have a voice, and let's make it really breathy. What you can do is you can press A and change things like the volume, the echo, the reverb, and I want it to be really reverby. So click this, bring that up. Let's remember. Sure. But it's a bit too loud, so you can grab this and you can drag that down, and I want my piano to be the loudest, my synth pads behind it, and then the drums behind it. Let's remember. So that voice is really poor, but it's just using an example. And then if you had a guitar or a bass, you can plug it in through a board or some other thing that you have. At the moment I do not have that, so I cannot demonstrate. But yeah, that's how you make a basic song in GarageBand. Usually there's loops, but they're not downloaded on this computer, and you can download them on yours. Yeah, that's about it for starting out. If you want to change the effects or how this instrument sound, you can press this button. That will bring it up. If this and this can change. So that sounds significantly different from what it used to be. And you can do that with, like, every instrument has some effects that you can change. You can make the bass really heavy and the hi-hat really heavy. So you can really get a lot of different effects messing around with it. And yeah, that's how to make a basic song. If you want to export it, you go up here and press share, and then export song to disk. If I want it in highest quality, and then I can click this arrow, put it on the desktop or wherever I want to put it, export. It will export the whole song up until the end, where you have the end signified. So for me, the end is signified much farther than where I've actually even done anything. So if you wanted to change the end, you go over here and there's this little arrow. You click on it and you drag it, and this will affect the end of your recording. So I'd probably want it right there. So then I can just export it again as version 2. And now that will only export just this chunk. Alright, so let's save that as we exit out, and let's go listen to what we've created. So now it's going farther than we actually went on the last one with our instruments, with the drums. And then eventually it will reach silence. However, this one, where we define the ending, it ends and it allows all the effects that we had on that to kind of come down. So your pads are really heavily reverby along with the voice, and so it adds that nice just fading out into it. So yeah, that's how you make a simple song in GarageBand. If you want to learn more on how to do it, there's plenty of online resources, and I believe there's even a help section in the program itself. Happy song making.